Very much. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining tonight's class. And today we are proceeding with MIAD 801 past question preparation. In our last session, if you attended the first session and the second section under the past question preparation team, you notice that we've covered a lot in terms of the past question that have been coming in and out, year in and out, like from 2022 to 2024. I've shared with you the past question preparation from that year, 2022 to 2024. You can go over it. But as I said, you don't need to rely on past question only. You need to read both the past question and the note I share with you because there are some concepts in the past question that I didn't explain well, that it is explained well in the note. The same thing in the note is explained well in the past question. So without wasting much of our time, I'll share my screen again as we usually do from our culture. I'll share my screen with you and then we'll try to look at the past question to understand how the question has been said and then we'll proceed with answering those questions. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. I want to just open the document before I share my screen. So So I remember it from our last session, we stopped on hypotheses, if I'm not wrong. So we stop on hypotheses, and then in this session, we proceed from the other part. So can you see my screen, please?
No.
No, there's nothing on the screen.
Microsoft SharePoint. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Can you see me or you just see the screen?
Just the screen.
Just the screen. I don't know. Okay, no problem. Now, from last time we stopped at hypotheses where we discussed the types of hypotheses we have, and I said you should go and read about sampling, and this is the next thing we will do now. So I just want you to look at the first past question we have here, which the topic talks about sampling in research.
None. For here, there's none.
No, yeah.
None. Okay, let's proceed to this one. Which of the question here talks about sampling, please?
There's no sampling here either. Okay, yes, number 5.
Number 5. What is the number 5 saying?
What is research sample?
What is research sample? Okay. And the following one?
Explain the guidelines for constructing a research tool.
Explain the guideline for constructing a research tool. Thank you very much. What about this past question?
Number 6.
Number 6. What is number 6 saying?
What is sampling?
So you see, what is sampling and what is research sampling? They mean the same thing in this context of MIAD 801. So when you see what is sampling and when you see what is research sampling, they mean the same thing. Okay. So what follows?
How can a researcher determine an appropriate sample for a particular study?
How can a researcher determine an appropriate research sample for a particular study? Okay. What about here?
Number 1.
Number 1, what is it saying?
Discuss the 2 major categories of sampling.
2 major categories of sample. Thank you very much. Mainly that out of 4 questions, 3 shows questions on the samples. Only 1 is not showing for now. Okay. What about here?
It's not here.
No. There's none here.
There's none. Okay. So we'll proceed. What about here?
Number 6.
Number 6. What is number 6 saying?
With relevant examples, demonstrate the appropriate sampling technique to be used in selecting a. I can't see. My glasses is.
Representative sampling from a population for which
Okay,
there is no sampling frame.
Thank you very much. That's making 4 out of 6 questions. It shows in 4 questions. What about here?
It's not none.
No,
None.
number four.
What is
He
number
said,
14?
he said
Okay,
compare
probability.
and contrast the differences between probability and non-probability sampling.
Thank you very much. That's 5 questions out of 8. 5 questions is showing about sampling. Why 3 is not showing? Okay, no. Okay, is it 8? I don't know. What about here?
There's
Number
no.
4.
Okay, number 4.
What is number 4 saying?
Let's go ahead. I can't see that.
With example,
relevant, okay.
Demonstrate how a sample can be selected using a stratified sampling technique.
Thank you very much. And the last question I have here, which one talks about sampling here?
Yeah, I'm not seeing number 5 and 6.
No,
None.
there's
No, thank you very much. So in total, out of 9, stop sharing. So out of 9 past questions that I just show you, the sampling occur out of 5, it occur in 5. Out of 9 rather, it occur in 6 past questions, which means that sampling is also one of the very important topic we need to consider if we want to pass our examination. So let us take it one after the other now. What is sampling? Sampling. We are all familiar with the word sample. Let's go and take a sample. So we are all familiar with it, but in research now, what is sampling? So sampling is the process of selecting a subset. Sampling is a process of selecting a subset. When I say subset, is S-U-B-S-E-T. S-U-B-S-E-T. A process of selecting a subset of individual or cases or observation from a larger group. That larger group, we call the larger group is called population. So the process of selecting, understand, a subset of individual cases or observation from a larger group in order to determine or to study or analyze or draw a conclusion about an entire population. See, the process of you selecting a subset, either individual or cases or observations from a larger group, for you to do your own study to come with a concrete solution. That process is called sampling. You understand? But imagine that someone wants to do a research on the effect of insecurity in northeastern part of Nigeria. It is very how do you call it? It's not possible for that person to interrogate all the people living in the northern part of Nigeria. What the person will do sampling, that is selecting some people to represent all the people living there. But that selection of people pass through a systematic selection. You don't just select people because you want to select people. Listen, there are numbers you need to consider, there are factors you need to consider, and there are methods you need to consider before you select people to do your research. So sampling, in short, cannot exist if you don't sell it, put in thought, in thought, you cannot assume if you don't put in thought the method you want to use to conduct your research. Understand? So it is very impractical, even costly. Let's say you want to do research that talk about northeast part of Nigeria. It's going to be very costly for you to interrogate everyone living in northeast. With the larger population that is there, it is going to be very costly for you because you print a questionnaire, your transport, your food, your movement, logistic and the likes. It's going to be very costly. Understand that? So that means it's going to be very impossible for you to study a larger population. So instead of you to study a larger population that is going to be impracticable for you, or very difficult for you, or very costlier for you, what you need to do as a researcher is to take a sample out of the population. That is why you see some people, if they want to do the research, they say effect of electoral behavior on people living in Etiosa local government of Lagos State. They will not do the research on the whole Lagos State, but they will base the research on a local government in Lagos State, because they believe that local government you are doing your research, that is a sample. That is where you bring out your sample to represent all Lagos State, not doing a research that you want to do research on all Lagos State. The Lagos State has a lot of the population of Lagos State is too much for you to do your research. You understand? So you take a sample out of the population. You understand? So population. It's when you say population here is like the entire group of people or item in a research. Understand? So in this context is like entire group of people living. Normally in social science, you say population is entire group of people living in a particular area. Living in a geographical area, that's population. But in research, you say it's the entire group of people or items living. Item a researcher need to conduct its research. Understand? So sampling, I've mentioned that is the process you conduct to select from your population. Understand? Or either your individuals, or your cases or your observation. That process you go through to select people is impossible. Let's say you want to study. Let's say you want to study about the student. I'm a distance learning student in Ahmadu Bello University. It's very impossible for you to question all of us. Even if it's going to be possible, it's going to cost you money. It's going to be costly. It's going to waste time. But instead of that, you can just pick a sample, and that sample will represent the whole. Understand? So the major categories of sampling, we have two major categories. What?
Can you kindly repeat the meaning you just stated? I didn't capture all, please.
I said sampling. This is the process of selecting a subset. The process of selecting a subset of individual observation or cases from a larger group. From a larger group, you select individual, subset, or cases. Understand? In order to study, analyze, or draw a conclusion about an entire population. So, in order for you to draw a conclusion, understand, about an entire population, you can just take sample. You want to study the effect of the effect of insecurity, as an example I gave, the effect of insecurity in Borno. It's going to be difficult for you to interview all the people living in Borno State. But what you will do, you break down your broad topic into a subtopic by changing into the effect of insecurity in, I don't know local government in Borno, but in a particular local government in Borno State. And in that particular local government in Borno State, you will not interrogate everybody living there, but you take a sample from that local government to make your research meaningful and less stressful. So it's impracticable and very costlier for an individual to just decide that you want to do a research and it is based on the whole population without considering a sample, because it's going to cost you money, stress, and sometimes it's very impossible. Understand? So the only thing you need is to take a sample. Understand? Am I communicating?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll proceed now.
Yes, sir.
Major categories of sampling. Major categories of sampling. We have two major categories of sampling, and these two also have types. Understand? The two major categories of sampling also have types. So the first major category of sampling is probability sampling. Probability sampling. Why the other one is non-probability sampling. We have the probability sampling and we have the non-probability sampling. So the probability sampling means this is a type of sampling in which everyone in the population have an equal or a known chance. You have an equal or a known chance of being selected. Probability sampling is a method of sampling in which everybody or everyone in the population or of the population has a known and equal chances of being selected. Which means that when you do a probability sampling, that means there are probability that maybe the lecturer, let's say you are in the classroom and the lecturer wants to ask a question, for instance now. You are in a classroom and the lecturer wants to ask a question and you want to call on someone, secondary school, wherever the teacher will call on someone. When the teacher look at everybody in the classroom and you look at you and he asks you a question, that thing the lecturer did is just a probability, which means that everybody in the classroom have a probability of being selected. They have equal and known probability of being selected. But not everybody will be selected. In secondary school, teacher will say, I want to call on someone to come and answer this question from me. And the teacher will just choose one person out of 50 students in the classroom. So that thing the teacher did is the probability sampling. Like the teacher choose someone, and people in the classroom are the population. In this context, they are population. Understand? But the process the teacher used to select you is probability, because all of you have the chances of being selected by the teacher. Understand? But the teacher will just select the one he or she wants. Understand? In short, when you say probability sampling, it means having equal chances of being selected. Understand? So the having equal chances, individual or cases on an observation or an element have an equal chances of being selected. So you can be selected or not. So that is probability sampling. And probability sampling has four types. You have four types of probability sampling. You understand? Types of probability sampling. Number one type of probability sampling is simple random sampling. Simple random sampling. Let me put transcription so you can see. In case you miss some words, you can see the transcription. Simple random sampling. That is the first type of probability sampling. You already know random. You know the meaning of random, to pick something randomly. So we say simple random sampling. That's the first type of probability sampling. So this method of probability sampling gives every member of a population an equal opportunity of being selected. This method of probability or sampling give every members of a population an equal opportunity of being selected, to be selected. You understand? So this is simple random sampling. That is, all the people in the particular population have an equal sample, like have an equal equal opportunity, or equal chances of being selected. You understand? So let's take an example now for you to understand what I mean. Imagine that a researcher wants to study the academic performance of this ABU distance learning students. Understand? Let's say a researcher wants to study the academic performance of distance learning students of Ahmadu Bello University. So that researcher may compile like a list of postgraduate students, understand? And randomly select, maybe in Ahmadu Bello University, all of us that are doing their distance learning, let's say we are like 12,000. But the researcher will not do the research on all the 12,000, but that researcher can randomly select maybe 300 students. Understand? Randomly select 300 students out of the 12,000 students. This is called simple random sampling. So, in the past question, they say you should mention example also. Listen. So that's why I'm bringing out an example for you to understand how it is done. So you can also form your example based on my example. So imagine you want to do research on 12,000 people. You cannot interrogate them. You cannot interrogate all the 12,000 people. You cannot question all of them. Even Ahmadu Bello University now, for us in UK doing exam in UK, they send a questionnaire to us for them to know who is in the UK. You will see that some people will reply that questionnaire, some people will not reply that questionnaire. So selecting out of
the class is not holding for international relations. Check WhatsApp.
What do you say?
Professor Rihanna just dropped a message for us.
She said what?
Professor Rihanna.
What did she say?
She said we should go and read IMF and all that. That she's busy. That.
Glory be to the Lord. No class. Let's continue. Let's continue. So, as I was saying, say out of 12,000 students, you cannot interrogate all the 12,000 students. So what you need to do is you take a sample out of these 12,000 students and you do your research. And that your research is going to be generalized. It's going to cover all the students doing the distance learning. You understand? That is number one types of probability sampling. Understand? The number two types of probability sampling is called systematic sampling. Systematic sampling. Systematic sampling. Now, this type of sampling involves selecting every case. When I say case is like, I don't know how to pronounce it, but K is like K for kilo, T for tango, and H, KTH. I will explain for you to understand. I will explain KTH. So selecting every case element from a population after choosing a random starting point. Understand? After choosing a random starting point, selecting every case element from a population after choosing a random starting point. Now, from the first example I gave you, I said you want to conduct a research on the academic performance of Ahmadu Bello University students doing distance learning. But out of 12,000 students doing distance learning, you only pick 300, right? But this systematic sampling is now telling you that K means that, when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th is T 10th, right? 20th is 20th, 30th is 303H, and so on and so forth. You understand? So in this one, you will now do your research on, after listing all the 300 students you want to do your research on, you take number 10th, number 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th, 70th, 8th, you understand? You just based on that selection to come into a conclusion on what you want to do as a research. Understand? So you will not do your research on all the 300. Here they are telling us that in systematic sampling, they are telling us that you are not doing your research on all the students, but you will be focusing your idea on the Kate. That's KTH. Understand now? You take the 10th number, the 20th, the 30th, the 40th, the 50th, and so on and so forth. I don't know whether someone understand me. Do you understand this?
Can you define it again?
Okay.
No.
I didn't get it.
Okay. I said this type of sampling It involves selecting every Kate. I call it Kate. That's KTH element from a population after choosing a random starting point. You know, in the first type of sampling is simple random sampling. But after choosing your simple random sampling, from your simple random sampling, you will now focus on taking the person after listing them from 1 to 300, the one that is in number 10, number 20, number 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Or you can decide you want to do the one that is number 20, 40, 60, 80, depending. So far as that is the strategic, the system you want to use, you just focus on selecting people on that one. Understand? Let's say you want to choose the 10th position of each level. If you are doing primary 1 to primary 6, for instance, now. So you go to primary 1, you choose the person that's got 10 positions. You go to primary 2, 10 position, primary 3, 10 position, till you get to SS3. You just see 10 position from each of this class. That is your own technique of doing your sampling. You want to analyze this sample. So that's why you strategically, systematically use this technique. So this is systematic sampling. Understand? The third type of sampling under probability sampling is the stratified sampling. Is one of the questions. Understand? Stratified sampling. Stratified. That's stratified. You can see you can just see on the screen stratified sampling. I think. Please, can you see the transcription as I'm speaking? Can you see?
No.
This?
No.
Don't know. Maybe if you put it on, as I put the transcription on YouTube, if you put transcription, you'll be able to see it. I think that's how they did. So,
Okay.
stratified sampling, that's STRATIFIED, stratified sampling. In stratified sampling, yeah.
Okay, you were asking about caption. We can just click on see it was.
Can't hear you, please. I can't hear you. Can you type that question you want to say? Mr. Peter, are you here? I can't hear you, Mr. Peter. There is noise in the background. Just type it. I will see your question. Just type the question. I will see it. Just type the question. So we proceed. Now, stratified sampling. Mr. Peter, just type your question. I will reply it. I will reply it. I will stop to reply it. So stratified sampling. So the stratified sampling on its own is this type of sampling where the population is divided into subgroup. The population, it is divided into subgroup. Understand? That subgroup is called strata. 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 That's why they say stratified sampling. So you divide a population into subgroup. Maybe this one tall, maybe this one short, maybe this one fair, this one fat, this one slim. Understand? You divide the population into subgroups. Understand? Based on shared characteristics. Let me move this first. You divide your population into subgroup based on shared characteristics, and random sample are drawn from your strata. You divide your population into subgroup. That subgroup is called strata. That is STRATA. So based on shared characteristics, and let me mute this person. Please kindly mute yourself when you join, please. Based on shared characteristics, and random sampling is drawn from your strata. Let me do an example now. Let's look at this example. You know, in a university, let's take Ahmadu Bello University as an example now. Let's say you want to conduct your research on Ahmadu Bello University students. You will not divide Ahmadu Bello University into faculty. Understand? Like art faculty, social science faculty, engineering, and like you divide them into faculty. You understand? After that one, you will now maybe you just take maybe 20 students from the art faculty, you take 20 from social science, 20 from engineering and sciences, just take them there and there, just take them. But after taking them, after dividing, you will now take randomly again from those subgroup. You've subgrouped them already. You will now take random people from this subgroup you have. Understand? So at the end, you can have a proportional number, maybe five person from each. Maybe at the beginning, each faculty has like 300 students, for instance. But after grouping 300 students from each faculty, you cannot decide maybe you just want to take 10 students from each faculty to do your sampling. Understand? That is selecting from your subgroup, your strata. You understand? Selecting from your subgroup. You understand? Stratified sampling. First, have a subgroup. After having a subgroup, you now then select, a proportional number from your subgroup. Hassan, am I communicating?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. The last types of probability sampling. You know, the first one we say simple random sampling. The second systematic. The third stratified. The last one is cluster sampling. The last one is cluster sampling. Cluster sampling.
CLUSTER.
CLUSTER. Cluster sampling. So, this type of sampling involves dividing the population into clusters. Dividing the population into clusters. Understand? So, the clusters is often geographically or institutionally. And randomly selecting entire cluster. And randomly selecting an entire cluster. Now, let's imagine that in Ahmadu Bello University, they have like, example, I'm just giving an example. They have like 20, department and faculty. Understand? So, as a researcher, if you want to use a cluster sampling in your research, what you will do is that you will group all the department, all the faculty, just group everything, all the faculty, the 20, for instance, and 20 faculty, for instance, now. Or let's say faculty or department, just group them into 20. But after that one, they now say that you should divide them again and choose randomly. You understand now? You just divide them into, you've already divided them into maybe 20 faculty. You understand? That's all the postgraduate students in Ahmadu Bello University. You group them into 20 faculty or departments. Understand? Now, you will now randomly select, maybe out of 20 faculty, you will now randomly select 5 faculty. Understand? And study, you now use the 5 faculty to study the whole Ahmadu Bello University postgraduate students. Understand? You take all the Ahmadu Bello University students, let's say 12,000 students, you divide them into faculty, maybe do faculty A, B, C, D till 20 faculty. And from your from your division, you will now pick maybe like 5 5 faculty, and you study all the 5 faculty, all the people in those 5 faculty to represent the whole postgraduate students in Ahmadu Bello University. But this kind of research, you did not study all the whole people in the faculty, all the whole postgraduate students. You just divide the faculty into group, and then you select maybe 3 or 4 faculty, and you do your research, and your outcome is going to represent the whole Ahmadu Bello University postgraduate student. You understand? So these are the 4 types of probability sampling. Can anyone list the 4 for me? Can anyone list 4?
Simple random sampling.
Okay.
Systematic sampling.
Okay.
Stratified sampling.
Okay.
And cluster sampling.
Thank you very much. Can anyone explain simple random sampling based on your understanding or based on what you pen down? Simple random sampling.
Simple random sampling give every member of a population an equal opportunity of being selected.
Example.
Example of simple random is like picking out, or rather selecting people in a class, selecting a number of people in a class randomly, just picking out persons from a class rather.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. So here the class is, in your own example, here the class is the population. So you just select anyone in the class, and then that's simple random sampling. Now, can anyone explain systematic sampling for me, please?
Systematic sampling to me is something like a pattern. When the researcher is using the form of a pattern to select in a group, you call it kids elements from population, meaning using a pattern. So if you're going to use like the Kent one, it will be the 10. Like if you're saying out of 100, then you're going from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Or you come from the back. It will just follow a particular pattern systematically.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, can anyone explain stratified sampling for me?
Okay, so these have to do with dividing the population into subgroup, then using a strata or simplifying proportionally from each other, thereabouts.
You divide the population into subgroup. You understand? When you divide into subgroup, you divide them based on the characteristics. You understand? Maybe those people that are tall, all of you stay here. All people that are short, stay there. All people that are fat, stay there. All people that are fair, stay there. Black people, stay there. And then you conduct your random, you draw from all this group, you draw from your conclusion. Now, what about cluster sampling? Can anyone explain?
Like dividing a whole population.
Who is talking? Okay, continue.
Yes, it's like dividing the whole population into clusters, like into different. So when you divide them, let's say you divide them a particular group, you divide the group into a subgroup of maybe 2020, 2020. Then you now pick out of the 2020 like 5 groups to do your survey.
Thank you very much. So this is it now. We just have like 4 which we explained. We'll proceed now to non-probability sampling. Group type of sampling is 2: probability and non-probability. But probability, we said it has 4 types, which we've explained now. Now let's look at non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling. But before we go there, let us go back again. What is probability sampling? Can anyone answer that one? Probability sampling.
It means when everybody in the population has like equal chance of being selected, but it might not. Not all of you might be selected.
Thank you. When people in a particular population have equal chance of being selected, that means that non-probability sampling is its opposite. So non-probability sampling, this is a method in which not all members of a population have a known or equal chance of being selected. Shikena, simple. You just put not in the definition to get non-probability sampling. So that's the opposite of probability sampling. Not all members of your population have an equal or a known chances of being selected. This is commonly used in qualitative research or exploratory research, like exploratory studies. The other one is commonly used in quantitative research. Understand? I forgot to add that one. But this non-probability sampling is commonly used in qualitative research or exploratory studies. So it's the opposite of probability sampling. You get? Now, types of non-probability sampling. Types of non-probability sampling. These are parts of the question we check that are commonly asked in the exam. You understand? So when you know that already, you are good to go. No problem in the exam. Type of non-probability sampling. The number one, convenience samplings. Convenience samplings. Convenience with CE, not T at the end, with CE. Convenience sampling. In this type of sampling, participants or population are selected based on availability or easy access. Understand? In this type of sampling, participants are selected based on availability, which means that those people that are available, now then we go do our sample, we go use to do our sample. Now, let me give you an example now. Let's say a researcher wants to do a research on studying the library usage, how postgraduate student in Ahmadu Bello University uses the library. Understand? If a researcher wants to do a kind of research of how the student at Ahmadu Bello University uses the library, the researcher will use the sample on students available in the library that particular time you need them. It might be that some people also use the library, but they are not available. So far as they are not available, don't use them in your sample. You use those that are available. In Kashim Ibrahim Library, I think we have Kashim Ibrahim Library in Ahmadu Bello University. Kashim Ibrahim, Mr. Kashim Ibrahim. So you use those people that are available. Let's say you go to the mall, you want to understand the frequency of how people buy things in the mall. Maybe you go to ShopRite, for instance, now. Let's say you want to study frequency of how people buy things in ShopRite. When you enter ShopRite, those people you met there, they are the people you will do your research on. You will not go and look for people outside ShopRite. Although people outside ShopRite, maybe they also buy things from ShopRite, but at the moment, those that are available, you have easy access to interrogate or to question, they are the people you focus on. That is convenience sampling. Understand? The number two type of sampling under the non-probability sampling, number two is purposive sampling. Like purpose, like PURPOSIVE. P for Papa, U for uniform, R for Romeo, P for Papa, O for Oscar, S for Sierra, I for India, V for Victor, and E for Echo. Purposive sampling. It is also known as judgmental sampling. It's also known as judgmental sampling. In this type of sampling, participants are selected deliberately. Participants are selected deliberately because they possess specific characteristics. In this type of sampling, participants are selected deliberately because they possess a certain characteristics relevant to your study. Understand? Or relevant to the study. Understand? Imagine now, I'm in the UK, right? Let's say a researcher wants to study international students at Ahmadu Bello University distance learning. Like you want to, let's say a researcher wants to study something on international student and Ahmadu Bello University distance learning. You know, if the researcher wants to do this kind of research, he will only focus on people outside Nigeria. Understand? Deliberate selection of some participants based on some characteristics. Here, the characteristics is that I am not living in Nigeria. I'm living in the United Kingdom. So the researcher make his research, his selection based on the fact that we are not in Nigeria. Even if the person is in Benin Republic, so far as the person is not in Nigeria, that is where deliberate selection of people based on a certain characteristics. You understand? So that is an example of purpose, like you have a purpose of selecting them. Understand? Judgmental selection. Understand? The third types of non-probability sampling, it is called snowball sampling. Snow, like SNOWBALL. I think you say you are not seeing my transcription. If you click on your screen, I think you have an option to set it there. I think Zoom has an option. If you set it, you can see what I'm saying. Anything I'm saying will be written there. Now, snowball is SNOWBALL. I'm sorry, I want to drink water. I'm sorry, just bear with me.
You need it, please. You are doing well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, snowball sampling. What is snowball sampling? Now, in snowball sampling, existing participants, that those that are existing, understand, help to identify or recruit other participants with similar characteristics. You see, existing participants, those that are available, understand, will help to identify or call upon or recruit other participants with similar characteristics. Now, let me give you an example for you to understand this one. You see, the distance learning we are doing, some people, they combine work and school, while some people, it's just only school, no work. You understand? Now, imagine that a researcher wants to study Ahmadu Bello University distance learning student who combined work and study. You understand? What this researcher will do is that he will begin his research with known students. Students he knows that they do work and they go to school. He will start his research with that one. But those students will now refer the researcher to other students. You understand? So whereby the sample is, you first pick, like, let's say you just pick like 10 students for you. Let's say you need 100 students, but you first pick like 10 students. But out of these 10 students, those 10 students will now refer you to those set of students. Another set of students will now refer you to another set of students. You understand? You know snow, ball now, snow. You see, okay, I don't know. Snowball, for people that have seen snow before, it is like a circle like this. You understand? So it rotates. You pick one part, those one part will now rotate by bringing in another person. So to do, if you've been in snow before, if you want to do snow, you first start with small, you roll it till it become big. You understand? So I don't know if the example work. I don't know whether you understand that, but that's what I can use.
It works.
It works.
Because when we had the class with Professor Mube, he used bandits as an example for us.
Thank you.
If you identify one of bandits,
Another one will
And
tell you the other
bandits
one.
will not refer you to others.
Thank you. Because they know each other. You understand?
Because they know each other. Just identify a small part of them, then the person or the other people will not refer you to the other people.
Thank you very much. So if you identify one bandit, that bandit is going to refer you to another bandit because he knows so another one will refer you to another one. That is how the snowball sampling is done. Understand? Why the last type of sampling under this category is the quota sampling. Quota. Q-U-O-T-A. Quota sampling. Quota sampling. In this kind of research sampling, the researcher selects participants based on predetermined quota. Based on predetermined quota, which means that the researcher already has a quota of number of people you want to select. You understand? But selection with each quota is non-random. The selection of each quota is non-random. Understand? You already have a quota you want to select. Maybe I want to, like me, for instance, now, when I first started the revision class, I said my revision class is going to be 25 people. I'm not going above 25 people. That is a quota. But later on, I discovered that a lot of people are interested because we are like over 400 students, and people are coming. They're interested, and I don't want to disappoint people. So I changed my quota by creating another group and had some people in another group, but maintain the 25 people in the first group. So quota, you already have a quota. So based on the quota, you select. Now, example. Let's say a researcher decides to interview 100 students, 100 postgraduate students in Ahmadu Bello University. Understand? But out of these 100 students, you want to make sure that females and males, understand? You want to make sure that there are females in the out of 100 students and there are male. But he will select them based on their availability. You understand? It's 100 students. It's not saying that maybe I want, like, we have like 100, we have like 1,000 Ahmadu Bello University. He just bakes it on, this is my quota, 100 students, and the 100 students is not going below. So he just make sure that he gets 50 students that are male, 50 that are female. And this is going to represent the whole. From the quota, you already know what he wants. Understand? So these are the 4 types of non-probability sampling. Can anyone list the 4 for me?
Convenience sampling.
Okay.
Purposive sampling. Snowball sampling.
Okay.
Quota sampling.
Quota sampling. Can anyone explain convenience sampling for me?
Okay, in convenience sampling, participants or the populations are selected based on their availability.
Thank you very much. Or
like
easy access.
Example, yes. Example, you make mention of available students in the library or in the shopping mall, then you get to know what are the frequency of people who come to shopping, etc.
Thank you very much. Can anyone explain the purposive sampling for me?
I think this is also known as judgmental sampling.
Thank you.
Participants are selected deliberately because they possess a certain characteristics relevant to the study. An example is you interviewing a professional chef about culinary skills. You know that.
Can you repeat that example?
Interviewing a professional chef about culinary skills. It's the area of studies. The professional chef and culinary goes together.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, he has special knowledge.
In plural. So yeah, good. Another who can explain the snowball sampling for me?
Okay, the snowball sampling. In this kind of sampling, you already have existing participants. So these existing participants, they will refer you to other researchers, like to more participants that will participate. For example, if you're studying cybercrime in Kaduna, through referrals, like people that they've referred you to. You study cybercrime through them.
Thank you very much. Can anyone explain the quota sampling for me?
Okay, quota sampling is the kind of sampling where you have a designated number of participants you want to interview or to use for this particular research based on a quota. Like you have a number, you have an estimate, you don't want to exceed this number of people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, thank you very much. So now we proceed to why is sampling important? Why is sampling important? Now, number one reason why sampling is important is it saves time. For you, just imagine you want to study about Kaduna State, for instance, and you want to study all the people living in Kaduna. Maybe they have like 15 local governments. It's not possible for you to study all of them. So it will save you time. That's number one reason. So I will not talk much about that. You can just explain based on your understanding. It saves time. It helps the researcher to save time. So instead of wasting a lot of time to finish your research, let's say in second semester, they gave you on a research. So if you want to do your sampling, it's going to help you to save time. Within 3 months, you are done with your research. So no time. Number two, it saves cost. It is cost effective. If you want to study about 12,000 Ahmadu Bello University, you just want to study 12,000 Ahmadu Bello University, you will know that you will print a lot of questionnaires, your transport, even your feeding. So it's going to be very expensive. But instead of that, you do sampling to save cost. Understand? Number three, it helps to generalize. It allows generalization, which means from your sample, from your population, you can generalize the whole people. So from the sample you pick, you generalize the whole people. Out of 12,000 Ahmadu Bello University students, you just pick 300 students. That 300 students is going to represent the whole people. You understand? The number four, it helps to manage large population. It helps to manage large population. So for you not to just focus on a larger population, with sampling, you are going to manage a larger population easily, like breaking a broader population to a subtopic, like the way we do now in theoretical framework. So you break down a larger population to a smaller population. So it will help you to manage a large population. Understand? Now, before I go, why is sampling important? Anyone to say it? Why is sampling important? Anyone?
Okay, the first one, sampling is important because it saves costs.
Okay. Continue.
I'm going to list everything.
It saves time.
It saves time.
It helps to generalize.
It allows generalization.
Thank you.
And
It helps to manage large population.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now we'll proceed. Selecting an appropriate sample. You know, we've mentioned many samples. Although they are like probability and non-probability, but we mentioned the types. They are like, 8 in total. Now, how do you select an appropriate sample? How do you select an appropriate sample? You understand? So, number one is population size. How many people do you need? How many people you need will determine. The first thing you need to put in your mind is population size. How many people you need will determine how you will select an appropriate sample size. So now, how many people you need? Based on the numbers of people you need. And so you will know whether it is snowball you will use, or quota, or stratified, or cluster. And that's number one. Number two, sampling technique. You now analyze different sampling techniques to know which one is suitable for the population you need. You understand? You analyze different sampling techniques to know the one that is very suitable for the population you want to conduct your research on. Understand? Number 3, variability of population. Those people you want to do your research on, are they available or not? You want to do a population, you don't want to do research in a library, and you go to the library, no one is in the library. You will know that you cannot do your research. You understand? Variability of the population. You already say you need 300 students to do your research based on how frequently people use library. And you go to the library, you only see like 10 students in the library. First day you check 10 students, and you came on another day, you see 5 students. You came on another day, you see 6 students. But you're not seeing enough people in the library. So the question now is, will you be able to do your research if enough people are not in if the population is not available? Understand? So that is the number 3. You look at that aspect also. The number 4 is desired confidence level. At which level are you ready to move forward with this research? If you choose like 500 students to do your research, your sample is you've written in your research proposal that you want to do your research on 500 or 1,000 people. At which level you will have that energy to move forward to do that research? Will you be able to be agile enough or motivated enough? That is talking about you, the researcher now. And saying, this is not the participant, are you the researcher? Will you be motivated enough? Will you have the confidence enough to proceed with your research? Understand? Why the last one is the resource, availability of resource and access to your participants. Understand? Do you have the required resources and do you have access to your participants? You want to do research on Boko Haram, you don't need one person to do your research on first. You take one person, for instance, and the other one will bring another one. But do you have access to one Boko Haram? Maybe you are living with him, you don't know that he's even a Boko Haram. Understand? So, as availability to resources and access to your population. You understand? So, these are ways you can put in, things you put in mind before you choose an appropriate sample technique. So out of the 8 we mentioned, out of the types, we've mentioned 4 there, 4 here. So out of the 8 in total. So if you put all these 5 things I mentioned, you will know the right technique you should use to the right technique you use to select a sample that will work for you in your research. You understand? Now we proceed to another one. Let me share my screen. Just bear with me. I want to share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
No.
No. I don't know. Just bear with me. Someone said his network is not good. You will see the recordings. Can you see it now?
No.
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 Well, can you see me?
No.
No.
No. Okay. Let me try this method. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Please mute your mic, please. Now, look at these past questions now. Which of these questions talks about research design? The first one, look at the first one. Research design. Hello? Am I?
Yes,
okay. Everything was silent, so I thought. So, which of this is talking about research design?
No.
None. Are you sure?
Trying to check. It's blurry here, so I can't see
Blurry.
well.
Are you using a phone or a laptop?
My laptop.
A laptop. I'm using a phone. I think that's why it's blurry. I'm using the phone.
I think the question 5B.
What's the 5 is?
Discuss 3 steps in writing your literature review.
No.
No.
This
Okay.
is under literature
This
review.
is the question 3. This is question 3. What
is
do you
question 3?
understand by research problem?
That's
No.
not research question.
I don't
No,
think
that is
it's
not
here.
research
I
design.
don't think there's anything about
I don't
research
think it's
design.
here.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure it's
proceed.
there.
Let's proceed to this one.
Question 5.
What is question 5 saying?
What
What
is
is
research
research
sample?
sample?
I think
That's
that's
not
what we just
research design.
discussed now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is research design talking about?
There is none here.
That is
It's
not
none.
here.
Yes.
Let's proceed to here.
Okay. 5. Research sample.
It's
Not
not
the same
research.
thing.
No.
There's no.
Mm-mm.
There's no
The
design.
research sample is what we just did now. So we are talking about research design.
There's none.
There's
No.
no one.
That is none. Okay. What about here?
None yet.
There's
None.
none.
Number
That is
6.
none.
What of
Number
number 6?
Discuss the
This
4 steps
is
of
research
constructing
tools.
a
The number 1.
What?
Number 1 is sampling.
Number 1 is still sampling.
Number 6.
These are not
It's number 6. Number 6.
Number
Discuss
6.
the 4 step for constructing research
research
tools.
tools.
Please, this person should mute his mic now. There is noise in your background. Is it Mr. Peter? Let me mute the person. Let me mute the person. Who is the person? Mrs. Binta? No, maybe she's not the one. I think it should be Mr. Peter. Mrs. Binta. Sorry, I just want to mute the person. I'm trying to mute her, but she's not. Okay, she's down now. She's down. So let me continue sharing because the noise is disturbing. So they said describing the tools in research in consulting your discuss. Who is this person again? Please mute yourself, please. Thank you. This is disturbing now. Please mute yourself. So discuss the 4 step for constructing research tools. That's 1. Okay, what about here? Research design. Any topics on research design here?
I think number 5.
Yes, number 5.
Number 5.
Can anyone read
Yes,
number 5?
5.
With
Number 5.
relevant
Examples.
demonstrate how to use an appropriate research design in getting the perceptions and opinions of the population on any issues of public concern.
Thank you very much. That's research design. What about here? Which one talks about research design?
Number 5.
Question 5.
Number 5.
Question 5.
Critically discuss the attributes of a good research design.
Critically discuss attribute characteristics of a good research
design.
Okay. What about here?
None.
Are you sure?
Yeah, there's none.
Okay, we move forward. What about here? Which one talk about research design here?
I don't think
there's
except
anyone.
the SS thing. I'm not sure.
No, that SS steering measurement here is a different one. We've done that in the previous session. What about here?
None.
None. Thank you very much. Now, you see, research design is usually also coming out like they usually set it in exam, but it's not that common. It's not that common like other. It's not that common like other. How do you call them? Other topics that you can see them like in 9 exam. You can see them like 8 examination, but it's also part of the topic we also need to look at. Because it's part of our course material. Now, what is research design? What is
research design? Is it the same thing as research tool?
Is it the same thing as
research tools?
I will explain the research tool later. I will explain in this class. Son.
All right.
Because you know it's under the research tool is under the research design. Okay. But I will explain that one in this tonight class. Now, research design. The research design is the overall plan, understand? Structure and strategy a researcher adopts. Overall plan, structure, or strategy a researcher adopts to systematically collect, measure, or analyze data in order to answer a research question or test an hypothesis. I will repeat it again. A research design. This is the overall plan, structure, understand, or and strategy that a researcher adopts. Understand? The plan, the structure, the strategy a researcher adopts to systematically collect, measure, and analyze data in order to answer a research question or test an hypothesis. You understand? So your research design will help the researcher.
I'm so sorry, my network was breaking. I didn't get the last part.
Let me repeat it. I said a research design, this is the overall plan or structure and this and strategy that a researcher adopts to systematically collect, measure, is this person? Systematically collect, measure, or analyze data in order to answer a research question or test hypothesis. Do you get that one? Can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. These guides, it helps the researcher on what data to collect, from whom to collect such data, and how to collect such data, and how the data will be analyzed. It helps the researcher to know what data to collect, from whom to collect it, how the data will be collected, and how it will be analyzed. Understand? When you want to build a house, there is going to be structural plan of the house. The architect will give you structural plan of the house. You will see it. The electrician also will bring the electrical plan. They have it. They bring it. Understand? So when they bring it, you look at the plan. They will not tell you how they are going to build that house, how they are going to buy sand, how they are going to buy cement, gravel, and the likes. So the overall plan of your design, of your project is here. Because your overall plan will tell you how you will collect your data or your information, how that data is going to be, what data you should collect, how the data is going to be analyzed, and how method is it. So the research design is just like the foundation. Understand? The foundation of your design. Because the foundation of your design explain how the other block will be laid down on the property. As in the past question, one of the past question you read, they said demonstrating appropriate research design with example. How a researcher can use, there are many research design. So how a researcher can demonstrate the right research design they should use and with example. You understand that? So we explain types of research design, let me just say types of research design. So from the types of research design, the example I will give, you will be able to know how you can answer such question. Understand? So they said that question, they said demonstrate the appropriate research design the researcher can use with example. That's how they put in the question. The number one type of research design here, it's called descriptive research design. Descriptive research design. Yesterday, someone has a question when we're doing the 801. I think the person asked if the type of research is same thing as objective of research. And I answered that type of research, they are categorized into three broad based on purpose, objective, and method of inquiry. And I say under the objective of type of design, that's where we have the descriptive and others. And so now. But here we're talking about types of research design. Awesome. We now say number one is descriptive research design, which means if your research objective is descriptive objective of research, you need to utilize descriptive research design. Awesome.
Mr. Akanji?
Yes, ma'am.
Please, sorry for interrupting.
No problem.
Please, yesterday we had a lecture made 801. But even myself, I was wondering, I read through something and the test of research design I have, there are 4 to 5, but the lecturer just mentioned 2, qualitative and quantitative research design. So
Thank
please,
you.
what are we going to take?
So the qualitative and the quantitative are under the method of inquiry.
Okay.
We have type based on the purpose, type based on objective, and types based on the method of inquiry.
So he didn't specify that. He just mentioned it.
That's why you're doing postgraduate. So students will also need to
go through it.
So some of them, you will see the lecturer will say slide, and the slide is like 10 slides. And do you think the lecturer will use 10 slides to explain everything? Listen, so it's impossible for the lecturer to use 10 slides to explain everything. He will just explain something to give you an idea of what he wants you to understand.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, descriptive design, research design. Descriptive design, the research design, this one is used systematically to describe the characteristics, attitude, or behavior of a population without manipulating variables. Listen, this type of design, it is used to systematically describe, description. So to systematically describe the characteristics, attitude, or behavior of a population without manipulating variables. Now, when is it appropriate to use descriptive design? Descriptive research design. When is it appropriate to use descriptive research design? Because in that question, they say you should demonstrate appropriate. So you will need to demonstrate to the lecturer that you know what you are saying. So when is it appropriate to use descriptive research design? Then number one, when the aim is to describe what exists. So it means that if your objectives of research is descriptive objectives, that means you will use descriptive research design. So they are telling us that when it's appropriate to use, it is appropriate to use descriptive research design when your aim, when your objective, understand, when your aim is to describe what exists. That's number one. Number two, you use descriptive research design when there is no cause and effect relationship in your research. When there is no when you are doing a research whereby you are not checking what is the causes of or what is the effect of. And when you are doing a research and it doesn't talk about the effect of something or the causes of something. So if your research doesn't have effect of or research let's say effect of unemployment on how do you call on Nigerian youth. If it's example, this is just an example. So if your research is not reflecting effect of something or causes of something, so you can use descriptive research design. Now, let me give you an example now. They say we should give an example. That's how the question said. The question said give an example. Now, let's say a researcher want to examine the demographic profile, or the study habit or academic challenge of Ahmadu Bello University distance learning students. In my inbox, I have a lot of messages where some people say, I'm a science student, I don't know anything about all these things we are doing. So, and there are many people like that. Some people that are in the group, they don't talk. They're in the general group, they don't talk. They are in the general group, they don't talk because they don't understand what we are doing, but they register for the course. So this kind of student, now let's say a researcher will now want to do a research on the demographic profile or the study habit or the academic challenges of student in Ahmadu Bello University distance learning. So questionnaire that the researcher will lay down are going to be administered to sample of students, sample of students. And data are going to be analyzed based on percentage and frequency. Let me just explain now what I mean here. Let's say we are 400 students doing MIAD, and I want to know the academic academic challenges of all the students doing MIAD, for instance. So this descriptive research want to know our challenges, understand? Since so far you describe the challenges of students doing MIAD. Maybe people who have challenges with LMS. Some people have challenges to join the classes. Some people have challenges with the network. Understand? Some people have challenges to download course material. So when you describe these problems, as a researcher, you should be able to find a solution in order for Ahmadu Bello University to perfect their system. So just descriptive challenge is just to describe something, describe a problem or something that exists, and when you describe that thing, find a solution to it. You understand? You can think of a problem you can describe and understand. Now, why is it appropriate to use descriptive research? You understand? So it's appropriate to use descriptive research when a researcher is intending to describe existing condition, not to explain causes. You understand? So when a researcher is trying to describe something, not the causes of that thing, you want to describe its challenges, not the causes of, not to explain the causes, but describe the existing condition or the challenge, not to explain the causes. Descriptive research, I'm sorry. Descriptive research. That's number one. Then number two, exploratory research design, to explore. Exploratory, to explore something, you understand? It's part of objective of research based on the objective. Exploratory research design. Exploratory research design. This type of research design is used when a problem is not clearly defined. This type of research design is used when a problem is not clearly defined and the researcher seeks to gain insight or familiarity. This type of research design is used when a problem is not clearly defined. Understand? And the researcher is trying to get an insight into it or a familiarity. When is it appropriate to use exploratory research design? When is it appropriate to use exploratory research design? Number one, it's appropriate to use exploratory research design when there is little information regarding a topic. When there is little information, or when information that exists, it's very small regarding how do you call an information. Please, I just want to ask a question. I want to say something. I want to give an example, but before I give an example, I want to ask a question. In Nigerian banking system, can I stay at home and open an account without going to the bank? Is it possible?
Yes, it is.
It's possible now.
Yes,
Yes,
but
some
you can't
banks
use
do
the
that.
account. You cannot. You can't. I
Some
think you
banks do
can
that.
come until you go to the bank.
What do you say?
You
Some
can.
banks do that. You can
Some
stay
banks
at
do
home
that, not
and
all
open
banks.
accounts. Yeah.
Not all banks.
So
But you
meaning
cannot
that
use.
I will be at home, I'll open an account, and they will send me my ATM in my house without even going to
No.
the bank.
No.
No. Why?
Yes.
Palmpay do that too. Palmpay do that.
And Pampe will send you your ATM in your house.
Yeah,
Even
some
money
banks do that.
points.
Money point do that.
Even money
But
point
these
does
are
that.
not banks that like
These
exists.
these are microfinance banks.
And so they are
So
they
this
Very much.
have
So
their risk appetite.
I'm
You
getting
as a
what I want to
customer.
get now. I'm getting what I want to get. Listen, thank you very much. That means we have different opinions. Some banks do that, some banks don't do that. Microfinance do that, traditional bank don't do that. In the UK, I can stay in my house, open an account today, and within the next 3 days, I will get my ATM in my house. Without even putting my leg in the bank. Since I've been in the UK, 4 years now, I never put my leg in the bank. I just the C bank, but I never put my leg in the bank. You understand? We can adopt the same thing in Nigeria. But maybe our researchers in Nigeria in this field, they've not perfected the level to that. They've not perfected their research to this level. That is why you have different opinion here. Some people say it's possible. Some people say it's not possible. There is a knowledge about it, but the knowledge about it is little. Understand? So when the information is very little, the exploratory research design can be applied. I don't know whether you are getting me.
Yes, we are getting.
So you can use the exploratory research design to do your design, to explore alternative measure on how you can help people open an account even without even visiting the bank and sending them the ATM without problem. Without problem. Understand? You should know that before it is very difficult for you to sit down in your house and order food and they will deliver to your house. But now it is possible. Understand? Now it is possible. You order online and they deliver to your house, they deliver to your office. But before it is not possible. Understand? So exploratory research, when the knowledge in a particular field or in something, your research is very little, people use the exploratory research. Understand? Now, that's when it is appropriate. Number two reason why it is when it's appropriate to use it is when formulating future hypotheses. Because you are exploring something that is not known, like it is known, but the knowledge there is too small. So you are exploring it. So you tend to, the result you will give might be useful for future people, future researchers, or future developers. You understand? Now, let me give you an example now. Let me take Ahmadu Bello University. some people are in my inbox. I'm not mocking anybody. Some people are in my inbox and they said they want to defer their course, that they are afraid of the exam. They want to defer it to second semester. Like they don't want to do it. They don't want to do the exam. They are afraid. And as it is like this, we have 100,000 of students in all our universities that are deferring their course because of examination phobia. So we don't know why. There's no concrete research on why is it that distance learning students in Ahmadu Bello University deferred the examination or deferred their course to another year, another semester. So you as a researcher, if you want to do a research to know the courses, you want to know the reason why students in Ahmadu Bello University distance learning deferred their courses. Understand? If you want to know, that means you will use exploratory research in this one. You want to explore you because we know they differ, but why do they differ? What is happening? Is it Ahmadu Bello University that is having problem? Is it a student? Is it a society himself that the student find himself, or the environment the student find himself? So in this kind of state, you explore, you will visit the student, you will call the student, all the students that deferred, you call them, you visit them, you understand? So exploratory research design. So why is it appropriate to use exploratory? I've talked about when is it appropriate. Now, why is it appropriate to use exploratory research design? So it is appropriate to use exploratory research design when the issue is not well understood. When the issue is not well understood. And the aim is to explore idea rather than test the theory. Is to explore idea rather than test a theory. You want to test why is it that you want to explore why is it that Ahmadu Bello University students want to defer their courses to another semester, another year. Understand now? So this is how do you call qualitative in nature. Understand now? It's qualitative in nature. Now we proceed to the third one of type of research design. We have explanatory, like explanation, explanatory. Explanatory research design. Explanatory research design, like explanation, explanatory, explain, explanatory research design. Explanatory research design. Another name for explanatory research design is called causal research design, like the cause of something, causal, the cause of something, like CAUSAL. So the causes of something, So causes of something. So causal research design. So another name for explanatory is called causal research design. This type of research design seek to establish the causes and the effect in a relationship, like the causes and the effect available in a variable, or the relationship available between a variable. Understand? It tends to study the causes and the effect between what is the causes of this and this. Understand? What is the effect of this and this? So it tends to study the causes and the effect relationship between variables. Understand? When is it appropriate to use that explanatory research design or the causal research design? When is it appropriate to use that? The number one reason why it's appropriate to use explanatory research design is when explaining why a phenomenon occurs. When explaining why a phenomenon occurs, if you want to explain something in your research, you use explanatory research design. That's number one. When you want to explain why something occurs, why there is so many internally displaced camps in northeast part of Nigeria. Understand that? Why is it that there's so many internally displaced camps in northeast part of Nigeria? Insecurity. Insecurity, banditry, kidnapping. This can be the causes. But you have to explain, your research. You need to go there, understand. So that's number one, when it's appropriate to use. Number two, reason when is it appropriate to use. You can use explanatory research design when testing hypothesis. Can anyone tell me the meaning of hypothesis? We did it too. I did it in my third class. I did it. The meaning of hypothesis. What is hypothesis?
I think hypothesis finds the relationship between variables, right? If there is any relationship. I wasn't in your last class, right? Maybe it's...
Anyone add something to what she said? You are closer. Closer. Hypothesis. Let's imagine we have an exam tonight and they say, what is hypothesis? Hypothesis. I know Judith was in my class. I know JJ was in my class. I know Amotola. I know some people that were there. What is hypothesis?
Okay, let me try.
Okay.
It is a researcher's answer to a research. It's like a logical statement that is testable and is based on theory. That's all I can.
Example. Give an example.
Example.
Mm-hmm. Give an example. What? Okay, let me bail you. Hypothesis, for those that was not here, this is a testable prediction or predictive statement. Before you do your research, you have like a prediction of what the outcome can be. For instance, I take the example now. Why is it that there is too much IDP camps in the northeast part of Nigeria? Internally displaced camp in northeast part of Nigeria. You already know the reason, right? But you are not sure if that's the real reason. So it means that when you say hypothesis in research, we mean your assumption as a researcher. Understand? It's a predictive statement, your assumption, what you predict that is going to be an outcome of your research. And I mentioned there are 4 types of hypotheses. We have the null hypothesis, we have alternative, let me move this person. Okay, thank you very much. So we have the directional and the non-directional hypothesis. And if you've not watched my last video on that one, I think it was the 3rd video on 801. Today is the 4th video on 801. So you can go and watch it. Okay, today is the 5th video on 801. 5th video. So you can go and watch it. So it's part of the common questions in MIAD 801 hypothesis. Understand? So now, example on explanatory research design. Understand? Example on explanatory research design. So let's say a researcher wants to do a study to examine whether there is some university, they usually give funding for researchers. I don't know whether it's happening in Nigeria, but in the UK and other European country, if you want to do PhD, for instance, now, they will ask you to come and do PhD. They will be giving you salary every month. Understand? They'll be giving you salary every month. Understand? Like, aside from the salary they will give you allowance for your research. Either you want to do a master's in research or you want to do your PhD. So now let's imagine that a researcher wants to study or want to examine whether availability of research funding influence timely completion of postgraduate study in, let's say, in Ahmadu Bello University. Some university, they give you money to do research. While some university, they don't give you money. You will use your own money to conduct your research. Now let's say you will now want to examine if they give you money, you will be able to complete your research in time. If they don't give you money, you will not be able to complete in time. Understand? So you will use statistical tool to explain the effects and the causes. The effect of giving people money to do the research will make them to finish earlier. The effect of not giving them all the courses will not make them. But in this kind of research, you use the explanatory research to explain why people that have access to funding, to money, finish earlier. People that don't have access to money, they don't finish earlier. So you use explanatory research design on that one. Why is it appropriate to use explanatory research design? So it is appropriate to use explanatory research design when the research is aimed to explain causal relationship between variables. When the research is aimed to explain causal relationship between variables. As in, when the research is aimed to explain causal relationship between variables. You understand? Now, the last one in my so not the last one, the number 4 in my list type of research design, we have the survey research design. Survey research design. I still have like 30 minutes left. Hopefully, I'm going to cover more. I'll not talk too much. Survey research design. This type of research design involves collecting data from a large population. This type of research design involves collecting data from a large population using questionnaires or structured interviews. When you use questionnaire or structured interviews. So that is survey research design. Let me move this person. So this type of research design is usually used. Sorry, I got kicked out. A call came in. Sorry. Okay. This type survey research design. This type of research design is used when the researcher how do you call it? Use data, collection of data to like from a population, but he's going to use questionnaire or a structured interview. You understand? So when is it appropriate? When is it appropriate to use survey research design? It's appropriate to use survey research design when data are needed, when you need data from many people, many respondents, or many population, when data are needed for many people. So, you see people will send you questionnaire. Please let me fill this questionnaire. I have a research to do. So when data are needed, a lot of data are needed for many people. They use survey research design. So that's now on. We move forward. Example. Let me give you an example. So you as a student in second semester, you will do your research, and most people will use questionnaire. Most people use questionnaire based on the topic you are using. I know most people use questionnaire. So a structured questionnaire is usually distributed. Let's say me, for instance, I'm doing my research and it's based on Ahmad University distance study. So I can share my questionnaire to all of you. Understand now? So to help me fill it. Understand? Because I need your point of view regarding something affecting Ahmad University distance learning. So if I want to know your point of view regarding the structure of Ahmad University distance learning, the only way I can do is I will share you questionnaires. And in my questionnaire, I will say, how do you see the LMX? I'll put option. You just pick your option. How do you see the teachers, the lecturers? You pick questions. Some might say the teachers are not good. That is their own point of view. Some might say the teacher are average. Some might say the teacher don't explain things extensively. That is their own point of view. That is the purpose of this research, to collect view or option. How do you call ideas from people? So I can just send it to all the 400 MIAD students. I go to another department, share to them also, and after then I collect it. Normally, questionnaire survey that are always online, there is a way they do it. You go to Google, there is a way you do it. So once someone fills his own, automatically an email is going to be sent to me that someone has filled the questionnaire. But traditionally, what they do traditionally is that they print it on the paper, they share paper, and you answer it yourself. But so far it's online, it can be done online. Things are developed past that level. Listen, why is it appropriate to use survey research design? Why is it appropriate to use it? It is appropriate to use survey research design when there is when you want to cover a large population, understand, or a quantifiable data. When you want to cover a large population or a quantifiable data. So out of 1,000 students in Ahmad Bello University distance learning, let's say I want to focus on 300. There are more. So I can use survey to get my information from them. Understand? So this is about survey research design. The next one I have in my list. I hope you are not tired. Hope you are not tired.
We are not.
Thank you. So you'll be saying that this Azeez, he's a talkative man.
Oh, yeah, we are grateful.
Thank you.
We are too grateful.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. So now, case study research design. Case study research design. You from the name case study. So case study research design, this involved an in-depth investigation. It involves an in-depth investigation of a single unit, such as institution, program, or group. It can be religion group. It can be institution like Ahmadu Bello University, Nasarawa State University, Abuja State University. You understand? So, in this kind of research design, you just investigate a single unit out of let's say institution or group or a program. Now let me give you an example for you to understand before I give you when is it appropriate to use. There are a lot of schools, universities in Nigeria that do distance learning. But you want to study how effective is distance learning in Nigeria. So you will not base, it's difficult for you, it will be difficult for you to travel to all the states in Nigeria to study how effective distance learning is in Nigeria. But what you do is you use one university as a case study. You use one university like this, you use one university as a case study. For instance, now a researcher can conduct a research on Ahmadu Bello University distance learning to analyze how effective is the distance learning in Ahmadu Bello University. But that result is going to be generalized. Like, how effective is it in the whole Nigeria? So, depending on the outcome, maybe the credit system is not good, or the assessment is not good, the lecturers, so you take a sample. That's what some people, when you do your research, you take effect of voter behavior on electioning, a case study of Nasarawa local government, for instance. So we take a case study. When you say a case study, that means you take a unit out of a bigger unit. You understand now? So that's it. Now, when is it appropriate to use case study research design? When is it appropriate to use case study research design? When is it appropriate to use case study research design? When is it appropriate to use case study research design?
Is it a question?
What?
Is it a question?
No, I'm asking. No, I want to continue.
Okay.
Explain.
Okay.
So the first reason why it is which is appropriate to use a case study research design is when detail, when let's say when context is important, when you want to understand the context of something. Here, the example I gave is that we want to know effectiveness of distance learning in Nigeria. We now take Ahmadu Bello as a case study. It doesn't know. So you want to know the context of how the distance learning is effective in Nigeria, but you are not studying all the university. You take one university as a case study. Understand? So that's number one. Number two is when detailed understanding is needed. When detailed understanding is needed. Understand? When detailed understanding is needed. When detailed understanding you needed. So when you take Ahmadu Bello University out of all the universities in Nigeria, you will give a detailed understanding of how they operate the distance learning. Some university in Nigeria, maybe they have a flexible way. They are not stressing them the way Ahmadu Bello University is stressing us. Listen. So you just study it based on it. So I'm sorry, I just want to read a message. Somebody sent a message now. They said, good evening, everyone. This is a gentle reminder that the forum discussion will hold tomorrow from 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Kindly ensure to participate within the stipulated time. Dr. Fatima. So if you're in Dr. Fatima class, I think Mr. Peter dropped a message here. He said, tomorrow we have our forum discussion. I think it's gradable. She put it 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I don't know.
But it's supposed to be to 11 p.m.
What?
3 hours.
But she said 2 hours now.
She said 2 hours. According to the message I just read now.
It's 2 hours, but we agreed on 3, so I don't know why she changed it. But let's just try on it.
Some will leave it for 2 weeks, 1 week, but if she said 2 hours, that's our own method. It'd be.
But Mr. Akanji, can we say a case study design is appropriate when you want to study a single organization, person, or group?
Can you repeat it, please?
It's for policy analysis for the person asking.
I don't know which one I should be listening to.
Okay, can I go?
You can continue now.
I said, can I say a case study design is appropriate when you want to study an organization or event or a group?
Yeah, when you want to study a group,
yes,
or a unit
or
in a group.
Single. Yes,
yeah.
a single unit. Huh?
A single unit in a group, or a single unit in an organization.
Yes.
You know, we have too many banks in Nigeria. So you want to study banking, just take one bank in Nigeria. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your dedication, for your contribution. Thank you. Now, why is it appropriate to use it? It is appropriate to use it when the focus is on deep and contextual analysis of a single group, of a single case. When you need deep explanation, deep contextual meaning, analysis of a single unit in a group. So if you just want to say you want to study banking system in Nigeria, you just take Zenith Bank as a case study or Union Bank as a case study. You know, take one and to study the behavioral pattern of all the bank in the.
Sorry, can you please take it again?
The example.
The why it's important.
So I said it is important.
It's appropriate to use rather.
What?
So why is it appropriate to use?
Why appropriate? It is appropriate when the focus of the researcher is on deep and contextual analysis. To understand deep and contextual analysis of a single case. Deep and contextual, if you want to understand deep and contextual analysis of a single case. You know what's the case here? Is like a single unit in a group or an institution or a program. So that's it. Can I proceed?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
We are done with the types of research design. You understand now? So now, let me ask anyone. Anyone should just mention the types we've mentioned now.
Case study.
Okay.
Descriptive research design.
Okay.
Exploratory research design.
Okay.
The survey research design.
And explanatory or causal research design.
Okay. Okay. Is that all?
With
Yes,
survey.
I have to survey.
Survey.
Yes.
And
based on my own here, I
The
have
case study
analytics.
I've only
research
for
design.
case study. Thank you very much.
case study.
Thank you very much. Now, there is one question in the past question you read out to me. The past question said that first step of constructing a research tool. First step of constructing a research tools is in the past question. First step of constructing a research tool. And I think Omotola or someone asked me, what is a research tool? Is research tool the same thing as
I
research
asked you.
Thank you very much. And I said we'll talk about it.
Yes.
So let's now define research tool. So as she asked about it, and I said we'll get there. So let's talk about research tools. So when you say research tool, we mean instrument, right? Research tool is tools. A carpenter has his tools. Tailor has machine. So tools, research tools. So research tools, this is a device used for data collection. Is a device used for data collection. Research tools is a device used for data collection, such as questionnaires, interview guides, interview guides, observation checklist or test. So the research tools is your own device. How do you think you will gather your information? Listen, how do you want to gather your information? Is it through questionnaire? Is it through interview? Is it through by observing people? Based on your observation, you write it what you observe? Or is it through by testing? Understand? Testing hypothesis. Understand? So this is research tools. The device you will use to gather your data, your information. That is research tools. But that question did not ask us the meaning of research tool, but it's because someone she asked us what is the research tool. Is research tool the same thing as research design? That's why I have to give us the meaning. Now, that question said, first step of constructing a research tools. A research tool.
4.
What?
I said 4.
Yeah, 4.
The
4
question said
steps.
4. Okay.
Yeah, 4 steps of following to construct a research tool. Number 1, define your research objectives and variables. Define your research objectives and variable. The research objective. What is the objective of research? Based on your objective, you know if it's going to be descriptive research or it's going to be descriptive research design you're going to use. But based on your objective, you also know it is explanatory. Understand? So defining the research objective. This is the first step in constructing a research tools, and is to clearly define your research objective, the research question, and variable to be measured. When you know your research question, you know your research objectives, or the variable you want to measure, or the hypothesis you want to test, it will make the researcher to identify what information is needed and why it is needed and how to get such information. So by knowing your objective, you already know the objective of why you are conducting this research. That is the first thing. The objective will take you to how you get the information needed to complete your research. why is that information needed to be in your research, and how to analyze that information, the outcome of the information. Understand? Example, if your objective as a researcher is to examine the factor affecting academic performance of Ahmadu Bello University distance learning students. Let's say that is your objective. You want to examine the factor affecting academic performance of Ahmadu Bello University distance learning student. You know, variable you will try to analyze. You will analyze some variable. The variable is going to be study habit. What is a study habit? How do they study? Another variable you will study is learning to access to learning material. Did all the students in Ahmadu Bello University distance learning students, do they have access to learning material and support and lecturer support? Do lecturers support students? Some lecturers will say 2 attempts, some lecturers will say 1 attempt. Understand? So you must clearly identify this thing I mentioned. Understand? Before you draft your research question. After you draft your research question, you will now know which questionnaire you use, whether it's survey you will use, whether it's questionnaire you will use. But base, that is number one, knowing your objective. After you know your objective, you can now proceed. Son, knowing your objective, that's number one. Number two, after knowing your objective, then number two is choose appropriate type of research tools. Choose appropriate types of research tools. Choose appropriate types of research tools. Sorry. Choose appropriate types of research tools. See, after defining your research objective, as a researcher, you need to select most suitable research instrument for collecting your information. You understand? You need to select the most suitable research. The most suitable research, tools to get your information. Please, can you see me? Can you see me?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So I was saying, choose your, how do you call? What am I saying?
Appropriate type of research.
Appropriate
type of research
suitable
tool.
instrument to do your research. Understand now? So you can decide to let's say you can decide to do interview. Understand? Based on your research, you can say you want to do interview, or you want to do questionnaire, or observation guide, or test. But the choice depends on the nature of the study, or the targeted population, or the type of data you need. Either it is qualitative or it is quantitative. So if your research is quantitative, the tools you will use is different. If it's qualitative, if it's qualitative, you can use observation guides. When there's election in any West Africa country, ECOWAS usually send some people to go and be as an observer. You understand? Those observers, they are going there. It's not that they are going to go and watch election. It's for them to do a research how the election was conducted. You understand? So the choice depends. The choice of your research tool depends on the nature of the study, or the targeted population, or the type of data you need, whether it's qualitative or quantitative. Let me give you an example now. Let's say you want to use a questionnaire. A questionnaire may be appropriate for collecting data from large number of students. Let's say Ahmadu Bello University student now. You can use questionnaire to easily collect data information from a large number of students. You understand? Why interview may be suitable if you want to know the learning experience. If I want to know the learning experience of all of you, I'll just need to interrogate you. We talk one-on-one. You will tell me if it's good or not good. But if I want to know it, maybe if I want to take a large number of people, I want to study maybe how effective is the distance learning to them, The only thing I can do is send them questionnaire, make them let them answer it. You understand? So that's the second step. The second step, as I said, is choose appropriate type of research tool. I'm not seeing myself. I don't know.
We can see you.
Okay, thank you. If you can see me, thank you. Now, number 3 step, they say 4 step. The third step is draft and structure the instrument item. Draft and structure the instrument item. Draft and structure the instrument item. We all know the meaning of drafting. You want to write a letter, you first write a draft. You look at the draft and you edit your draft before you send out your letter. The same thing if you want to write email. So the next is you draft and structure the instrument writing. So the third step involves writing clear, simple, and unbiased questions or item. That's where you have your research questions. So you write simple and clear, unbiased questions. Understand? And you must ensure proper wording. When you write your questionnaire as your questionnaire, you must ensure proper wordings. Like the word must be, understand, an appropriate response option. So when you do questionnaire, you see questionnaire, you have option 1, 2, 3, 4, because people can choose out of the 4 options. But some people, after 1, 2, 3, option A, option B, option C, option D, after that option, they will not say, if you have a different opinion, write it. I don't know whether you've answered the question. You put, if you have a different opinion, write your answer. You put order. They put order, or OTHER, order.
Yes,
If
they
your
put
option is not
order.
among. What do you say?
I said yes, they put orders.
Yes.
Yeah, they put order. So which means if your option is not among the one they put, you now put your own option. So they understand. So you must put proper wording that are logical enough, and you need to put appropriate response options. Appropriate response can be A, B, C, D, but you might forget something. That is why there is order. That is why they put order there, so that you can put your own option yourself. You understand? So let's take an example now. Let's say there is a questionnaire for Ahmadu Bello University distance learning student. You understand? So this questionnaire may start with demographic questions. You understand? When I say demographic question, it can follow with our patterns of studies, our study habits, and the challenges we are facing. Azeez, they pay Akanji Azeez, location, UK, text, M, and they put other things. They put it in a way that I will be able to answer easily. You understand? Time to read. Do I have a time to read? I don't know if I have a time to read. Anytime is my time. Understand? So I'm not organized enough. I wish I can be organized. I read anytime. So, but they just put it in a way that the participant or the person that want to answer that question, understand it. Understand now? That's the third option. Can we proceed to the last option?
Yes, please.
Okay. The last option is pre-test. Pre-test, like, test, pre-test, PRE, pre-test. Validate and refine the instrument. Pre-test, validate, and refine the instrument. The third step is you bring out your instrument, the instrument you want to use. But that instrument, before you put out your instrument outside, you need to test it first. You need to pre-test it. Understand? Pre-test, P-R-E, hyphen, test. Pre-test it, you validate it. After validating it, you now refine it into something that you can bring out to larger people. Understand? So pre-test is sometimes called pilot testing. Pilot testing. So pre-testing is pilot testing. Understand? So, you want to study like 300 students, for instance, now. So, but instead of doing it on 300 students, you first preset it on 30 students. Understand now? The researchers will use tool on small group similar to the targeted population. Based on the outcome the researcher got from 30 students, they can now say, okay, is it like my questionnaire is good, let me send it to 300 students. You understand? So you pre-test it, which is the pilot testing, before you send out your information outside. Today, somebody, I just want to use this one as an example. So I hope it's not put me in problem with Ahmadu University. Ahmadu University want to use Tutored study method. Tutored study method. Tutored study method is that you are in your house and you do your exam. You know, most of you do your exam in center, but we in the UK and people in Canada and US, we will do our exam at home. As I'm sitting down here, that is how I'll do my exam. Listen now. And it is believed that it is the first time they will do this kind of exam. Although some university in abroad, in Europe, in UK, some university do the exam at home. But it's the first time. So if they succeed on us in UK, I'm pretty sure that they will do it for people in Nigeria to be doing exam at home. So it's like they are pre-testing it. I understand that. It's like they are pre-testing it to test first if it will work or it will not work. So if it works, that means they can apply to people in Nigeria. That instead of it to be going to center every time, don't go to center. All students, distance learning students, be doing exam at home. And it can work. Because a lot of schools in abroad, they do the exam at home. They don't go, but they have a way they do it. If they do it, you cannot cheat. You cannot open your book. You cannot press your phone. But they have a way to do it. You understand? So it is already 9 p.m. So I said we'll stop 9 p.m. So we'll stop here for tonight.
Please, can you retake the
What?
Thank you so much.
the 4 steps of research tools, like just briefly?
4 steps of constructing a research tools. Number 1, your objective.
Yes.
Let your objective be defined. Know your objectives. After you know your objective, you now choose appropriate type of research instrument or research tool based on your objectives. Some can say it's questionnaire, some can say it's survey, some can say it's observation, some can say it's testing based on your objectives. And then, after that, you now draft and structure your instrument. Understand? After drafting and structuring your instrument, you will now pre-test it. After pre-testing it, you now refine it and send it out. Did you understand me?
Yes.
Gachiko?
Sorry, can you take the last part again?
You pre-test, validate, and refine the instrument.
You pre-test, validate. Pre-testing means that you want to study like 300 students. Instead of focusing on 300 students, just do it on, like, for instance, now we want to be doing our examination from home now. I'm on the University. We in the UK. We want to be doing from home. So let's say you want to pre-test. Maybe they are planning in future that all Ahmadu Bello University distance learning will be doing exam at home. They're now pre-testing this on people in the UK. And people in the UK currently, I think we are like 500 doing an exam in the UK. Now, they pre-test on us. If it work well, that means they can do it on over 3,000 students of Ahmadu Bello distance learning students. So, but they first pre-test it. If it work well, they send it out. They are using us to do survey. They are using us to do research if it work or not. Understand? So, question. It is already 9 p.m. 9:05 in Nigeria. It's 8:04 in the UK. Question. Observation. Suggestion. You see, this one that we did this night, it is not well explained in the material I sent you. So that is why it is advisable that sometimes you attend the course the session, so that because some things I briefly explain it there. So I did not give much explanation, much examples as I'm doing in the revision session. So sometimes if you have the time, please try to attend. And if you don't have the time, I'll post it on the YouTube. You can watch it on the YouTube. Hopefully you will understand if you watch on the YouTube. Question for me, observation, suggestion, addition, subtraction. No question. So tomorrow they said MIAD 8:03. What is the time again? Let me check it. Then from 8
From
to
8 to
10
10.
p.m. So what is going to happen tomorrow? We have our class also. We have 8:03 also. We have 8:03 tomorrow. But our 8:03.
Who is your tutor, please?
What?
Who is your tutor?
Revision.
Okay. No. Okay.
Revision. We have our revision tomorrow. We are not stopping. We are doing it every day. We are not stopping. So from 6:45 to 9 p.m. But because of this problem that we are seeing, I think we will stop earlier. So we can face.
You have lecture.
Do
you have lectures tomorrow?
We have gradable forum.
It's forum, gradable forum.
Oh, okay.
And it's
you
a
guys have
limited
gradable
time.
forum. Oh, okay.
So now there is time for us to submit it. There is time for us to submit it.
Okay.
So maybe we'll stop by 8 tomorrow instead of normal 9 p.m. We'll stop by 8, and day after tomorrow we continue the MIAD 8:04.
Thank you so much.
The 8:03, right?
8:03, yeah.
8:03.
8:03. So we'll stop earlier so that if we stop by 8 p.m. tomorrow tomorrow is
Can't we
Wednesday.
start by 6 p.m.?
Me, I don't have problem. If you say we should start by 12, I'm available for you.
I'm just thinking, instead of we don't have time to waste time.
Some persons will be coming back